the last question is, do you think parents should allow their children to watch TV during their free time? It's a very important question, and the question that my friends always discuss these days, because my friends, they all have kids, and they always talk about whether it's good or bad to let them watch YouTube. Like TV, YouTube, they're basically the same thing these days, right? So do you think parents should allow their children to watch TV? Why in their free time? Why or why not? Give specific reasons and example to support your opinion. Is the question, or was the question. So what do you guys say? I remember when I was young, I was watching like Sesame Street, those kind of programs as a very young kid, not even during the free time. Like once I got up in the morning, the show was already on, and my mom would like let me and my brother watch the show because it was like an educational, like, you know, Sesame Street, it's an educational program for young kids, right? They teach you English, they teach you songs, they teach you some like disciplinary actions that kids should, you know, follow. So I think it was helpful to educate them in a fun way, educate us in a fun way. So if I had a kid, I would let him or her watch that kind of shows. But I guess I would have to like set a limit, like set a guideline. There should be a guideline of what kind of TV programs to watch. So I think that's the most important thing about letting kids watch TV. And I'm actually like 100% like, you know, for it, because when I went to the US at 7, I told you guys I spoke no word in English. I didn't know ABC. I didn't know how to spell out my name in English. So English, I was like basically zero, like blank, zero English, speaking zero English. And then once I went to America, there was not that like middle ground. I just like was put right into the actual like class, and from day one I was able to speak nothing, say nothing to my teachers. I was just like sitting there like a dumb kid, not being able to understand, not being able to speak, and just like looking and observing the class, not being able to participate. But what I remember is it was The Little Mermaid from Disney. I really love that. I don't know why, you know, like kids nowadays, they, you know, are so into Frozen, and then they're all into like next like generation Disney movies. Just like that, I was into like, you know, The Little Mermaid, and I watched, it was a video. These days you download it on, you watch it on Netflix, right? It was a video. It was like, the video itself is like twice as big as like my iPhone. It's like really big. You could cover up my face. And I would have to like rewind the video and play the video again, rewind it, play it. And then after playing it multiple times, I believe it was more than 100 times, you know, the tape inside, the video tape inside, it got loosened. It sort of got stretched out. So it wouldn't play properly. The screen, the scenes were all ruined. So my parents had to buy another videotape. That's how much I watched The Little Mermaid video. So from then on, I think I was able to improve my listening skills, and I was following what Ariel, the main character, was singing. I was like, you know, repeating the lines over and over again. I knew basically all the lines in that movie at one point. I, of course, forgot most of it, but still, I think that movie, watching that movie on TV was really, really helpful for me to like, you know, pick up the language and be able to improve my language a lot. So I think, you know, TV has its ups and downs, but you know, I would say I would use TV wisely. I think it's important to use it wisely. Music viewing. I think parents should not allow their children to watch TV during their free time because first of all, it'll have a bad effect for children's relationship and mental health. Okay, I think this is a little tricky because you'll only have about like 45 seconds or 40 seconds remaining by this time, and to talk about the children's relationship and mental health, both of them within 45 seconds of time, I think it could be a little too much. So I suggest that you just stay with like one thing. It also harms for the physical health. Now you're giving 3 reasons. Okay. ring song. I think one reason and one supporting idea or like example would be good. In my childhood, I watched a lot of TV shows and I learned a lot of different areas of knowledge. So I totally agree that parents should allow their children to watch TV during their free time. Okay, so I'm gonna share my answer with you guys. Okay, if it's, well, I'm gonna show you my answer first. Okay, so to make your example, to provide more details, how to provide, add detail, let's say add detail to your example. Okay, first, give names, provide names, provide number information, okay, and provide examples of what you are talking about. Okay, so I'm going to show you all this, okay? What you are saying, what you mentioned. Okay, so this is my answer, I would say. I think that parents should allow their children to watch TV during their free time, and there are several reasons to support my opinion, and most of all, I think it could be very helpful for them. For example, when I was young, I went to America, and at that time, I didn't know how to speak English, and I didn't take classes. Of course, I took classes, but I wasn't able to understand anything in my class. But one day, my mom and dad bought me this, Little Mermaid video, and I watched it over and over again until I watched it more than 100 times. And by doing so, I was able to learn all the English lines said in the movie. I was able to memorize the songs. I followed, sang together, sang along, and I was just following the lines. And by doing all of this, I was able to improve my English, learn lots of English expressions, and I was even able to improve my English pronunciation. It was very helpful for me, and that's why I think so. Okay, so the name I provided, okay, so names. I said The Little Mermaid, right? And number, I said I watched over 100 times. And the examples, the things that I did, I memorized, I improved, and I was able to learn another language. Okay? So this is what you have to do. Okay, now let's see, Lionel said, free time, and it is important to relax sometimes. I think after their homework, kids can have fun and watch TV, like series or cartoons, but it is important to protect them also. Should limit the time, maybe 1 or 2 hours a day. See, you're providing number information, that's good, okay? And if you want to talk about what they can see and what they shouldn't see, maybe you can give some examples. Like, for example, they could watch educational programs or documentaries or Sesame Street, something like that, but they shouldn't watch violent programs like dramas or movies for adults, right? Give more examples, specific examples. Music Yuang, I remember when I came to my neighbor's house, I saw their 2 children, both of them were looking at a TV screen without noticing anyone in the house. They even didn't even say hello. I think the parents shouldn't allowed. When I was a kid, my parents allowed me watch TV and I had a lot of free time. Okay. So I'm the only pro. It seems like I'm the only person supporting this idea. It's difficult for me to communicate with anyone. Okay. Oh, so Jody, I like her answer because it has a lot of specific details in there. So as a kid, allowed me to watch TV when I had a lot of free time and after studying at school. So I just use all of that time watching TV, watching cartoons, comedies, and those are all examples, right? Because I just sat and watched, so I didn't spend with D time hanging out and playing with my friends. It was really bad. It was really bad because when I became older, it was difficult for me to communicate with anyone because I just spent time alone watching TV. My health is not good. Now, I told you you have only 1 minute, and during 1 minute, you have only one idea to be like like you can only talk about like one idea in detail. It's really hard to move on to the second idea. Okay? All right, so that was it